Okay, so we're out with our two little Shetties here. They're doing really well in their training. We got held up at the start because they come unshod, and it just so happens that our farrier had caught his hand, and that held us up a little bit. So anyway, once they was shod, we've done some work with them, but obviously, their feet were quite worn. I mean, if we'd have, attempted to do too much, they could have ended up with sore feet, which would have put us back a lot more. So we done what we could. A little bit of groundwork. What's it? There's two sisters, full sisters, and I think they're 4 and 5. Yeah, 4 and 5. So then we had this problem with their teeth. They both wanted their teeth doing, just taking the edges off, but one in particular, this one on the inside, they're hard to tell apart. So if you look in his tail right at the very top there, he's got a little a little bit of and it matches his harness, so we don't get muddled up, because they are very, very similar. So anyway, she had this problem with her teeth. So between her premolar and her first molar, she had a gap which was impacting with food, which was obviously smelling, and it obviously was discomfort, because when we removed it, or we had the vet come and remove it, whilst he was here, he removed it, and I thought there was something wrong when she weren't comfortable being driven, and even without rubber bits, she still wasn't comfortable. She was tossing her head a little bit, and just weren't as I want to be. I mean, some ponies, horses will do that anyway. So they just toss their head about. They don't necessarily like the bit in their mouth. If they continue doing it after a period of time, you then say to yourself, well, there's got to be another reason. So as I say, with a near-side pony, that was the reason, impact food. And it's a very hard thing to see without a jack to hold their mouth open, obviously, and plenty of light in there. And then you want to know what you're doing. And I would only ever use a vet for for anything to do with teeth. I wouldn't use a dentist. Just my personal opinion. Other people are perfectly happy with them. I'm not condemning them. I just think that it's, a vet has so much more knowledge of the whole cranium, let alone just the teeth. I mean, it's quite an extensive knowledge. So steady, babies. So he come and flushed it out, and when he flushed it out, the gum itself was very inflamed, very red. So obviously that was where the discomfort was coming from. So then we decided just to drive them both just with head collars, no blinkers, no bits at all, and just drive them off their own head collars. You can get all sorts of bitless bridles, but some of them I don't like. Quite a few of them are not too keen on that pick up on pressure points. Well, I'd sooner have no pressure points and them just doing it because I'm asked them to do it. So anyway, now we're coming to the stage. So we've got them going. They're good in traffic, they're going, they take no notice. You can see their ears are forward, they're perfectly happy. They can look round and see me, either one of them, obviously, and see the carriage and everything, and they go along just fine. It takes, obviously, without... I've done this all my life, so you need a bit of time served to know what to do and how to do it and how to get the best out of them under these circumstances. And also you've got to know that they will react in exactly the same way as if they had bits in, even if it was only rubber bits. So like now, for instance, if I say, come round, babies, come round, darlings, come round, babe, right round. And they turn round on this little narrow road without actually putting their feet on the grass, and they're not upset by it, are they? They make no reaction to that at all. They just turn round because I've asked them to do so. So I suppose there's a certain amount of know-how in doing this, what we're doing. But it's getting it right and understanding your horses. You know, I keep saying the same thing. So reading their body language, back up, concentrate. So reading their body language, you know, what they're telling you, whether they're stressy, whether they're upset, whether they're, you know, they're coping okay, fine, and then you can move them to the next day. So anyway, that's where we're at now. So now we're going to continue for the rest of their training in just head collars. So why have I done this pony that doesn't need it at all? Would take a rubber bit and blink, there's no trouble at all. Why have I done it? Well, you can end up getting your horses unbalanced because you've got a bit in one and nothing in the other one. So it's best that they both learn to just feel a slight pressure on their nose. Now the other thing I do, if you look at where it's nice view there actually of that one, we don't put them right down where the skull turns to cartilage. Yeah, if you look at a horse's skull, you can see where the bit's missing at the bottom where the cartilage is. Well, obviously, if you put it on that joint or just below, as a lot of people do, then there's pressure, you know, and it's painful. It hurts, you know, no two ways about it. So if you just put it on the skull, and the pressure's applied to the, you know, to the skull itself. So obviously it's a lot stronger than cartilage, isn't it? So, and if you put it on the joint of cartilage, you know, it will definitely be uncomfortable. So we've had a lot of interest in what we're doing with these particular ponies. That's people visiting the yard, etc., and that have seen us out, that ride or drive, and are very interested, you know, sort of how do you do that? Well, you know, a lot of experience obviously over the years. Not the first time I've done it, I just never thought of filming it before. In fact, I would say we've done it quite a few times, Ree and I, you know, Ree's driven them and like that when we've had problems with their teeth. Just had a wolf tooth out. We just done one recently that we had a wolf tooth taken out because it was just, you know, the bit was touching it and it was very uncomfortable. And we drove that horse. It was a big horse. We drove with, not a big 15, 2 or 3 horse, as far as I remember, that we drove. That's good boys. I keep calling them boys, these ponies. I don't know why. I think the reason is a pair that we broke more or less identical down in Kent that belonged to Louise and Lionel down there. They got a pair just the same and they was boys. I'd love to put them. These actually are slightly smaller, not a lot. I mean, maybe a couple of 3 inches at the most. You know, half a hand shorter. Be lovely to put them together as a team because they are identical. You know, I mean, all of them with the same colour chestnut. Everything about them is identical. I was going to clip these out, which I'm pleased I didn't do now because what they're going to do, I've kept the owner informed of everything we're doing and sent films to her, etc. And or Riaz, I should say, and what she's going to do is turn them away when they go back, let them winter out, rough them off and let them winter out, and so that this gap can close between the premolar and the first molar in this dear little pony, you know, and it will close up quite quickly. It's just its age and the way the teeth are set in its head, and the gap will fill, there's no question, as long as it's kept clean. Well, obviously, if you've got them on grass, grass is not going to stick like dry food. Well, in my experience, it's never stuck like dry food. It's very hard to get an impact of actual grass, but when you've got short feed, you know, we feed lots of different mixtures. But they have that, and then they have the haylage. It's all dry. When that gets jammed in there, it doesn't move out so easily. It's not freed so easily as grass would be. So we'll turn them away. Obviously, once a week, she'll just have a look, bring them in the yard once a week or twice a week, just put a little hose pipe in their mouth, you know, especially if you can do it with warm water. It's the same temperature as their body, and you'll find that they'll flush all their mouth out for you, which will also clean that area. Also, these ones, which is particular to these, one of these horses in particular, I should say, one of these ponies, gets a gathering of food up behind its top lip and against its gums, and it's quite a lot there every day. So now I think that is something possibly to do with the way it's eating, yeah, the way it's moving the food around its mouth, possibly. I'm not a vet, but just my experience over the years tells me that's probably what it is, due to the fact of the slight discomfort when it's eating with this gap, you know. But that will certainly doesn't stop your eating anyway, but it, you know, might be slight discomfort. So yeah, so been a great deal of interest in you know, driving without any bits, bitless in other words, and then blinkerless, yeah. So we decided, or Riaz decided, that we're going to make 3 little films of, you know, what they've done. So out on the road, and today we're going to drag the metal, and we're going to go in the river, because that's the next part of what they'll be doing anyway. But we thought we'd film it because obviously everything else is different now to them. If you think about it for a minute, when you put blinkers on, it takes 80% of their vision away. Well, you know, they've got complete, and they can look completely around them. I mean, with their left eye, they can see their right buttock, you know, their right hip. They can see, you know, see it comes in makes a cross across their back, you know, what they can see with both eyes. So, but there's been a great deal of interest, so we thought we'd make a bit more of a study of these two. So I don't know, be a couple of 3 films maybe to watch that go up on YouTube, just to see their progress with no bits. Now, other people ask us about barefoot. I mean, well, that's not to do with what we're doing with these, and I would love all horses to go barefoot, you know, why not? Why would you shoe them? Well, we shoe them for a reason. Now, Ree's own pony, which is a lovely pony, you know, will be a schoolmaster for the other ones. Already done some work with young horses up the side of it. That's barefoot, and we do a lot of miles a week, you know, 60, 70, 80 miles, and her feet have stood up to it perfectly. But Ree has done a massive amount of research into that, and I mean a lot of research, read every paper there is, and you know what to look out for. Walk on in different horses' hooves. Walk. Get up. That's it. She thought, you've done this wrong, Dad. We turn left there. So anyway, Ree's done a lot of research. Would I shoe horses? No, I wouldn't. Not if I didn't have to. Now the problem is, what we've found, and I'm more guided by Ree in that because she has a vast knowledge of it, you know, we're able to drive certainly a pony on the public highway, on this tarmac surface, for, I would think, to do 100 miles a week. I don't think we've ever done that, but looking at her feet and studying it, without any question, I would think that would be true. The problem is, you've got to give the foot time to harden and adapt. So when the horses come here to be trained, we're out on the public highway. I mean, people don't want me, you know, to be able to just to drive them. They want them bomb-proof. Well, that includes doing the, you know, all the stuff that we do, that you see every day, you know, that we do. So, but these ponies, I believe, are going to go barefoot. But it is the time, and you can't say from what, you know, the research and what Ree's looking into it, and she's going to make a film about it from start to finish about her pony, which will be a really interesting film. So she's got a lad that comes and trims the horse for her, and they work out and discuss, and he's quite, I think I can honestly say he's quite impressed with the miles she's doing on the tarmac surface. because she's never off it. You know, unless we're in the arena, but that's an abrasive surface anyway. So, and we spend, you know, if you look at the miles they do, there's very little done in an arena compared with what they do, you know, on the road, on the public highway. So, but that said, you know, we're going to make a film on that, or it's a project or a thing, but it also will do it. So it'd be nice to see if these ones can go bitless, blinkerless and barefoot, you know, when they get back home. But it's obviously the time. We can't do it in 6 weeks. You can't do it in 6 weeks. We've had a couple of 3-4 attempts now, even with blue-footed, you know, like dark hoofed horses. They won't, you can't do it. They get uncomfortable, and obviously that's no good. So, but I think any horse can go, given time to do it. I don't know that. I'm not a farrier. I'm not a vet. That's just my opinion, because on the ones we've done, if you've got the time to do it. Next problem you've got with barefoot is, like one of my dear friend Rowley was still with us. He done a tremendous amount of miles. I mean, a serious amount of miles a day, and he was always fit and happy, and you know, never had a day sick or sorry and like that, you know. And come over. There's good boy. Come over, my darling. And I would have loved to have him be barefoot, because his shoes cost, I think they were handmade before, you know, they weren't bought in the box, they were made out of flat iron, and they were, it was a lot of money, I don't know, £90 a set back then, you know, back that time ago. And then he's rode nails all round and everything like that, and if I could have got him to go barefoot, I would have done. But of course we never had the time. He was doing so many miles, we never had the time to say to do it. But yeah, I mean, I suppose all the farriers are at the sight of me for saying that, but why would you do it? On the other hand, I would agree 1,000,000% that they didn't, when it was hard to mine iron and work iron, so it was, you know, you could make it into a horseshoe. That was a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that. Well, they didn't do it if it wasn't necessary to do. Even oxen, I've seen oxen shod, you know, bullocks, you know, like that have been used for draft work. They used to have 2 for a Taurus suet some time ago, and they were shod with little shoes, you know. Although they're cloven hoof animal. So come round, my babies. So yeah, it'd be nice to see if these do go barefoot when they get home, and you know, and they go out on the public highway, I mean, for their exercise and things. There'll be 2 little competition ponies is what they're going to be, and they're going to make very good ones, because they're on the voice, you know. I mean, obviously. And people say to me, can you really control them? Well, yeah, sure I can. You see me flat out gallop and skid them to a stop, because they're trained properly. They're trained to do that. But then you could say the same. People say to me all the time, you know, well, if you watch the films, we drive everything in a rubber bit, regardless of whether it's a stallion, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, whatever multiples we drive, they all have rubber bits in. So, and are they controllable? Well, yeah, because we do more miles, probably, I would think, with all due respect to anybody else, I should think we do far more miles than anybody else that, so we have a lot of horses in to break. If you average them all out, say they do, you know, I mean, obviously we start off with a low mileage and build up. I mean, I don't know what the average is, but I certainly I will do, sat behind horses, 260 plus miles a week. So, you know, obviously that adds up, doesn't it? So, right, so we're heading down to the river, and we'll have a look at them going in the river. They don't seem to mind actually going in the river, horses, on a cold day like today. So, you know, we've got the metal sheet now under them, you know, under the carriage. And the thing is, as well, that's different this time to what we normally do is obviously they've got a visual as well. Because they can look back under the carriage and think, whatever's that, you know. Well, whether that's at a disadvantage or put it, you know, it's harder for them to do or not. It's very borderline, because if you're saying they normally got blinkers on and can't see at all, that's even more frightening, surely, when you can't see. But it could be as frightening because they think, what's that behind them? Now it's something new behind them. Is it a crocodile? Is it, you know, something is it a lion going to jump out and bite me? You know, I don't know. But they go along nice and they'll stop. Well, bud, stand still. Walk on. Just walk. Can have a little trot now. Trot, baby. Can have a little canter now. Go on, baby. Let me go. Stand still, babies. Walk, babies. We cantered up the hill there, as you can see, and then we brought them back to a walk. I've got to go slowly so you can hear me, because when you're cantering, it makes such a noise. But you can see there, they're just walking back home now, fine. And you've got two horses dealing with this. I'll just stop a minute and explain to you. Well, you've got two ponies, you know, similar age, bred the same. Stand still now, babies. Stand still. So, bred the same, and the offside is more uptight than the near side. Yet they're bred out the same parents, you know, there's only a year between them. So stand still, babies. So I shall just stand here now till they settle. Also, the other thing is they know where home is. You can see the arena in front of us, and you know they're going to say, "Come on, Dad, let's get back and have a bit of short, you know, whatever, short grub. We'll have some nice aleage. I'll have me bath, and then I'll do that." And even this one, look, pouring the ground now. That's saying, "Come on, what are we waiting here for?" But they got to wait here. They got to do what we asked them to do. And when they settle quiet, then we'll move on. But the point is, what I'm saying to you is, coming up that hill there when they're, you know, flat out, and I can bring them back without any bits, no blinkers. They're watching this underneath the carriage. We've seen refilm it from the ground. You can see what they can see back and look at it. And they got no bits and they got no blinkers, so, and they're dealing with it, you know, well. So now they've stood quiet and done what I've asked them to do. You notice I haven't shouted at them, I haven't growled at them, I haven't done anything at all, I haven't smacked them, I haven't done anything. Just they will stand because I've asked them to stand. And this is where you've got to have the patience of a saint, because they will drive you around a bend sometimes. If I find myself, you know, losing my patience, I stop immediately, whatever I'm doing. Not now, I'm not talking about, as in a general rule. Stop immediately. Because as soon as you let your temper or your impatience get the better of you, it's no good for horse. No good at all. No, you just got to be here now. So now this one's going to nip this one, and that one will nip that one. You know, they'll argue, what are we standing here? It's your fault. Is it my fault or your fault? You know, whatever. It's going through their little brains, you know. But when they stand there quiet, then we'll go on home. And you've got to have the patience. Yeah, see what I mean? They can't get cross with me, so they get cross with each other. So, look, you put your head over there. Don't come over here. So there you go. And this is, a lot of people think, well, you dragged that metal, they've done that, they went in the river at speed, they've done all this. This is the training. This is where they pack up. Hey, that'll do, that'll do. So this is the training. Anyone can make horse fly up the road fast, that ain't hard, is it? What is the thing to do is to do it nice and quietly, you know, like this, till they stand, you know, just sit here quietly. I've done this when it's pouring down the rain, but now is when they need this lesson. You will stand there when I ask you, please, come over, come over. That's it, stand. You will stand there when I ask you, and just because this car's gone past doesn't give you the right to follow it. I want you to do what I asked you to do. Now this pony's just rested a back leg. That's a beautiful sign there, because no horse is going to move away if they're standing on 3 legs, are they, obviously? So they're just standing quiet now. They've had a good workout, and that is a lovely lesson. So we're just going to get them to walk now. They're going to hear this noise again. They're going to want to pull on a little bit more than they will, but this is the very first time they've had the metal dropped behind them, and they've coped with it really well. Could you do it with any horse? No, you can't. You've got to, they've got to have confidence in me. They've got to be perfectly happy with what I asked them to do, whatever that might be. Walk, reverse, trot, canter, whatever I asked, they've got to do it because they believe in me and they trust me 100%. So could you do it with any horse? Could you do it with your own horse? Well, I wouldn't recommend it. But obviously you must do whatever you want to do, but it takes a long time, a lot of hours put into getting them to trust me implicitly, to believe in me, what I say to them, when I say, how I say it. That come over, baby, that's it, stand still, stand still, stop that. So this one's got to play with the chain now, the pole chain. This one will have to do that. And you've got to give them some little release. As long as they're standing quiet and not moving, I'm not going to stop them moving their heads. And you know, I would stop them biting them. He's going to bite his ear now. So they make me laugh. All horses, they're funny, real funny. They can't argue with me, you know. So they take it out on one another, you know. But as long as they stand here quiet. Just wait till they settle, and then so now they're standing quiet. We've been standing here about another 5 minutes or so, and so now we can just walk on boys, walk. And you see now there isn't the urgency, they're not pulling on my hands, or this offside one is not pulling on my hand like it was, just walking away nice and quietly. And you know, I've been doing this a lot of years now, and I've learned over the years, and I would, help anybody I can, and anybody can do. I've got no great secrets or lotions or potions or, you know, whatever people think. It's just a matter of having a lot of patience, understanding the horse and being able to read it is the most important thing. And that's very, very hard to teach, because you can read one horse, read his body language, doesn't necessarily mean to say you can read the neck stalls. In fact, I would say it would definitely mean you can't read the neck stalls. You know, it's only because I have so many horses to deal with that enables me, good baby, that enables me to, come over baby, whoa, that enables me to do what I do with horses, because, you know, I've been doing this for many years now, since a little boy really. I broke my first pony of my own when I was 8 years old, so, you know, that's a long time ago, and it's taken a lifetime to learn it. A Rhea who works with me is very good, and I suppose benefits from the fact of, but the only way to know and to learn is to be alongside me doing, yeah. But she just come up with a fabulous idea that we're going to try, you know, something we're going to try, something she just come up with it. Today we was talking about it, and I said, yeah, we'll do it. So I'm all for new innovation, new ideas all the time. Don't matter what it is, give it a go, give it a try. As long as you don't hurt the horse or harm the horse in doing so, or, you know, upset the horse. But yeah, so all the time I'm learning, you know, and I keep saying the same thing. People, you know, pay you lovely compliments and everything and say, but I'd like another lifetime to try and get it right, because there's so much more to these ponies, so much more that they've got. If only we would listen and try and understand them, rather than, you know, constantly putting our will on it. Certainly get them to do what we want, right, in the nicest way we can, and let them, they will talk to you with their body language if only we would listen. If only we would listen. That's what we got to do. And as I say, I'd like another lifetime to get it right. But they're going lovely, and a nice little pair. They're going to make a cracking pair.